We have got some breaking new Deshaun Watson news on today's show. Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, providing you guys with the latest Deshaun Watson update as the Browns quarterback has reached a settlement with 20 of the 24 women accusing him of sexual misconduct. Cameron Wolfe, who covers the NFL, tweeting out, Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson has settled 20 of 24 cases against him, with women alleging he committed sexual misconduct. Lawyer Tony Busby, who represents the woman, says in a statement, noting the terms will remain confidential. We'll look at that statement in just a second, but let's break this down a little bit more. So, 20 of the 24 civil lawsuits have now been settled. That means there are 4 still standing out against him right now. The big question I think a lot of us had when we got the notification about this news was, does a settlement lessen any possible suspension for Deshaun Watson, right? Is this good news or is it not news, right? Does it not provide us any clear update on whether or not this could lessen a possible suspension? Now, the NFL's decision regarding Deshaun Watson is expected sometime before training camp. That's kind of been the latest development, is that Kevin Stefanski and the Browns, starting July 27th, will know who their starting quarterback is week 1. But let's go to Tony Busby, who's the plaintiff, for the 24 women. And here's the part of the statement he put out today. Today, I announced that all cases against Deshaun Watson, with the exception of 4, have settled. We are working through the paperwork related to those settlements. Once we have done so, those particular cases will be dismissed. The terms and the amount of the settlements are confidential. We won't comment further on the settlements or those cases. My kind of takeaway from this, I guess, big news, right, was that I don't think this really impacts a potential suspension for Deshaun Watson. I don't think reaching a settlement on 20 of the 24 cases against him has him maybe receiving less games, right, of a potential suspension. I don't think Sue Robinson, who's the arbitrator in this, and we'll look at that more in just a second, is going to look at this news and go, oh, well, let me just take a 0 off a potential suspension now. I don't think that's how this is going to work. I do believe this does expedite the timeline of when we could actually get some real concrete news on what a suspension will look like. We've got more news to get to. As Mary Kay tweeted this out just before we started filming, NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy on Deshaun Watson settling 20 cases. Today's development has no impact on the collectively bargained disciplinary process. In English, kind of what my first takeaway was. And that's what I tweeted out the moment I saw this was, I don't think this is actually going to maybe help lessen a potential suspension total, but more so get a result sooner. Also, let's just talk about the suspension rumors for a second, because I was out of town this past weekend, so I couldn't get to some good stuff that was put out, and we were going to talk about that originally on today's show, but that got pushed back to tomorrow because of this. But the rumors about what a number could look like are just off the rails. I saw the number 60 thrown out. 60. I don't even want to know what 60 divided by 17 is. It's a lot. I don't think that's going to happen, right? I don't think that's going to happen. I've also seen 0. I want to be realistic with everyone. I don't think 0 is going to happen. And I want to remind you that 0 or any number above 0 is not an admission of guilt. That's not what I'm here to say. But we know how the NFL operates, right? The NFL does their own investigation. They don't care what law enforcement really finds, honestly. They do their own personal conduct policy investigation, at least in the past they have, and then they make a decision. Now, it's different now. We'll look at that more in just a second. But I also want to quickly toss this in, because I think this is an important note from this recent settlement. Ashley Solis, who was the first alleged victim of Deshaun Watson, and who was in the HBO special, HBO program, a month ago at this point now, she was not a part of the settlement. So she is still one of the 4 women who are not settling against Deshaun Watson in court. But here's the big question I want to ask. We've asked it before, and there's really no other way to ask this question. If he is suspended, how long do you think it'll be, right? Are you in the range of 0 games? And if so, I'll have whatever you're drinking. Or are you someone who's more like a couple of my coworkers who are close to a whole year suspension? Let me know down below in the comment section. I'm still predicting a 6 to 8 game suspension. Vegas has it at 7.5 right now. They're just trying to cover their bases a little bit, I think. But that's where my gut tells me. I don't think it'll be a year-long suspension. I think 6 to 8 games just kind of feels right. That there's a lot of different rumors and reading between the lines and different pieces of information you can put together and scraps. You can make a little collage and try to get an idea of what the sense will be, but 6 to 8 games just sounds kind of right to me for if it does happen, how long it could be for. We'll get to more Deshaun Watson news in just a moment, but hey, listen, if you're not subscribed already, I don't know what you're doing. Really. I mean, if you want to stay in the know about the latest Cleveland Browns news and rumors, and you want to join one of the fastest growing dog pounds on YouTube, hit that big red button and subscribe today. Let's look at the investigation process. We showed this graphic last week on Friday, I believe, Thursday or Friday, but I think it's a good way to really illustrate what this process looks like. So step one of the process is the NFL finds no personal conduct policy violation occurred, and that's the end of all this. That didn't happen. So we move on to step two. The NFL finds a violation occurred, and they forward their findings to an arbitrator, which in this case is former U.S. District Judge Sue Robinson. Now, the arbitrator could find no violation occurred. The NFL cannot appeal, and we stop there, and Deshaun Watson doesn't get fined, doesn't get suspended, and he is ready to play week one. Or there's step 4 of this situation. The arbitrator does find a violation occurred, and Sue Robinson, determines the punishment. We also move on to the second half of step 4, which is the NFL can appeal punishment. So if they believe Sue Robinson's punishment is not adequate enough, they can appeal to Roger Goodell, who would ultimately have the decision in what a punishment would look like. This is how the new personal conduct policy violation will occur for situations like this under the latest CBA. So it kind of ultimately still ends with Goodell, but it is different because you have a chance to never reach Roger Goodell. Our friend Josina Anderson, who I just love the way she tweets, but she tweeted this out. I'm told there's been a recent and intense shift of focus internally within the NFLPA on providing support for Deshaun Watson's case and Watson's outside counsel to ensure his rights are protected, thereby also suggesting an initial resolution is nearing, per league source. So the NFLPA is going to push back very hard against the league because they have seen their own, right? Robert Kraft, although he's Bobby Kraft when he's getting a little, down in Florida before a Patriots playoff game. So nothing happened to Robert Kraft. We've seen other owners like Dan Snyder, the worst owner in all of sports, walk away without any sort of punishment. Remember, John Gruden got fired because of emails he was sending within the Washington, at the time, Redskins organization. And he was the only one that got in trouble. Takes two to email. So there was always something that was fishy, and the NFL never released that side of things. That's the difference between millionaires and billionaires. Guys, the NBA draft is just a couple of days away. It is this Thursday, and here's what's really cool about Chat Sports' coverage of it. We go live with the pick the moment the Shams or Woj bomb drops. So we don't wait for the ESPN broadcast to announce the pick and watch Adam Silver walk up. Was Adam Silver even going to be able to make the picks? He's in COVID protocol. Stay woke. Keep an eye on that. But listen, we will be breaking down every single pick the moment it happens. So make sure we are your home for the 2022 NBA draft at youtube.com/chatsportstv. I want to revisit a quote from Deshaun Watson from last week, or almost 2 weeks ago now. He said, "I just want to clear my name." That's when he was talking to the media after a minicamp practice. So let me go to this good tweet from More For You Cleveland, right? Who said what Deshaun Watson saying of, "My biggest thing is just wanting to clear my name." Deshaun Watson, after reiterating he never force anything or assaulted any woman, says he will continue to push for the truth to be heard. Well, that lasted long, right? I mean, what happened to Deshaun Watson saying, "I just want to clear my name," and the Browns were like, "No, you're not. You will settle," and that will hopefully help whatever punishment could be coming your way, as opposed to having ongoing civil lawsuits against you going into the season. So I'm not saying that if you settle, that means you're guilty. That's not true. In fact, one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm trying to remember. It's got Jamie Foxx. Okay, whatever. But it's not about what you know. It's about what you can prove, right? And so just because you settle, and I'm not a lawyer, but that does not mean you are guilty in the court in anyone's eyes, at least in my opinion. But it's just that was the best course of action for your best interest. So I think the NFL is eyeing, by the way, a 4th of July news dump in terms of when we will see a Deshaun Watson suspension potential number. I think that's likely what's going to happen here. We got the NBA draft coming up this weekend. 4th of July right around the corner. Could the NFL just drop the news and go, all right, everyone enjoy the grills, enjoy your outside time with your family, and have a good Independence Day? Because I kind of sense that coming. So I'm looking forward to running into the office on 4th of July with Marshall to get a video out. Although I don't think Marshall just knew that he signed up for that if Deshaun Watson news does come out. So just type me, by the way, to wrap up the video, if you want a decision to just come soon, right? If you're like, listen, it's gotten to the point now where, sure, I still want it to be a lower number if it's going to happen because I want the Browns to be successful in 2022. But if you're just ultimately like, I'm just so fed up with this never-ending roller coaster, type me if you just want the decision to come out sometime soon. Also, appreciate everyone that clicked onto today's show. Greatly appreciate you making us a part of your day here at the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. Subscribe today if you are not already, and I'm going to see you guys tomorrow or today. Maybe we get some more news coming out in a couple hours. Keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes peeled. Turn those notifications on, and we'll see you guys later.